Why do so many small businesses fail even when they have a great product? It's easy to blame the economy, competition, or bad timing. But if you look closely at businesses that quietly disappear after a few years, you'll notice something surprising. Most of them didn't fail because their product wasn't good enough. They failed because they built their business around themselves instead of around the customer. Every successful business, no matter its size, exists for one reason. It solves a problem. The moment business owners lose sight of that, growth begins to slow. Think about your favorite local restaurant. You probably don't return because the owner loves cooking. You return because the food is consistently good, the service makes you feel welcome, and the experience is worth paying for. Now imagine the owner suddenly decides to change the menu based only on personal preferences instead of customer feedback. They ignore complaints, remove the most popular dishes, and stop caring about consistency. What happens? Customers quietly leave. This is exactly what happens in thousands of businesses every year. Many entrepreneurs spend months perfecting their product before asking the most important question: does anyone actually need this? They assume that if they build something amazing, customers will naturally come. But business doesn't reward assumptions. It rewards solutions. The companies that grow the fastest spend less time talking about themselves and more time understanding the people they serve. They ask better questions. What frustrates customers every day? What takes too long? What's too expensive? What's unnecessarily complicated? Businesses that answer those questions create value people are willing to pay for. Another common mistake is confusing sales with success. A business might have impressive revenue, but still struggle financially because revenue isn't profit. Imagine two coffee shops. The first earns $80,000 a month, but spends almost all of it on unnecessary expenses. The second earns $50,000, but manages costs carefully and keeps a healthy profit margin. From the outside, the first business appears more successful. In reality, the second owner has built a much stronger business. Many entrepreneurs become obsessed with making more money without paying enough attention to how they manage it. Growing revenue is exciting. Managing cash flow is what keeps a business alive. Cash flow is often called the lifeblood of a business for a reason. Without it, even profitable companies can collapse. Successful business owners understand exactly where every dollar comes from and where every dollar goes. They don't guess. They measure. They review their numbers regularly because numbers reveal problems before customers do. Another mistake many small business owners make is trying to do everything themselves. In the beginning, that's understandable. Budgets are tight, and every dollar matters. But as the business grows, refusing to delegate becomes one of the biggest obstacles to growth. Some owners answer every email, handle customer service, manage marketing, oversee inventory, and make every decision themselves. At first, it feels productive. Eventually, it becomes exhausting. The business starts depending entirely on one person. That isn't a business. It's a job with longer hours. The most successful entrepreneurs understand that their role changes as the company grows. Instead of asking, "How can I do more?" they begin asking, "How can I build systems that allow the business to grow without depending on me every minute?" Systems create consistency. Consistency builds trust, and trust creates loyal customers. Another trap is focusing too much on competitors. Customers rarely remember the cheapest company. They remember the one that made their lives easier. That's why listening is one of the most profitable business skills. Customers leave clues everywhere. They leave reviews. They ask questions. They make complaints. They compare products. Every conversation contains information. Successful business owners don't treat feedback as criticism. They treat it as free market research. Instead of defending every decision, they stay curious. What can we improve? That single question has helped countless businesses grow, while others stood still. There's another mistake that's far less obvious, but just as dangerous. Many entrepreneurs stop learning once their business becomes profitable. They assume early success means they've figured everything out. But markets change, technology evolves, customer expectations rise. A strategy that worked 5 years ago may be completely outdated today. The businesses that survive for decades share one characteristic. They never stop improving. Their owners continue reading, learning, testing ideas, and adapting. They know that standing still in business is often the same as moving backward. Perhaps the biggest mindset shift happens when business owners stop thinking only about selling products and start thinking about building relationships. A customer who buys once creates revenue. A customer who trusts you creates a future. Loyal customers recommend your business to friends, leave positive reviews, and return again and again. That kind of growth can't be bought through advertising alone. It has to be earned. The strongest businesses understand that every sale is the beginning of a relationship, not the end of a transaction. When customers genuinely feel valued, they don't simply remember what they bought. They remember how your business made them feel. And in a world where products can be copied overnight, that experience often becomes your greatest competitive advantage. The second has clear systems. Orders are processed the same way every time. Customers receive updates automatically. Questions are answered quickly. And problems are resolved before they become complaints. 6 months later, which business do you think has the stronger reputation? Success isn't built by working harder forever. It's built by creating processes that consistently deliver a great experience. That's why many successful entrepreneurs spend more time improving systems than chasing sales. They know that if the business can't consistently serve the customers, it already has. Bringing in more customers only creates bigger problems. Another mistake is competing on price alone. Meanwhile, another company charges more and continues growing. Why? Because customers don't always buy the cheapest option. They buy the option they trust the most. Think about some of the world's biggest brands. They're rarely the cheapest in their industry, yet millions of people willingly pay more because they associate those brands with quality, reliability, or convenience. Price matters, but perceived value matters even more. Instead of asking, "How can I charge less?" successful business owners ask, "How can I make my product or service worth more?" Sometimes the answer is better customer support. Sometimes it's faster delivery. Sometimes it's a stronger guarantee or a better overall experience. Increasing value allows you to build healthier profits while giving customers a reason to return. Marketing is another area where many businesses struggle. A common mistake is trying to sell immediately. People don't like feeling sold to. They like feeling understood. Great marketing starts by identifying a problem your audience already has and showing them that you understand it better than anyone else. Before customers trust your solution, they need to believe you understand their challenge. That's why stories are often more effective than statistics. People remember how a business solved someone's problem far longer than they remember a list of product features. The businesses that grow consistently know how to educate before they persuade. They provide useful content. They answer questions. They build credibility long before asking for a sale. When trust is established, selling becomes much easier. Another habit shared by successful entrepreneurs is making decisions based on data instead of emotion. Sometimes a product you personally love doesn't perform well. Sometimes an idea you've invested months into simply isn't working. Emotion says, keep going because you've already invested so much. Data says, adjust your strategy. Learning to separate your identity from your business decisions is one of the hardest but most valuable skills an entrepreneur can develop. Changing direction isn't failure. Refusing to adapt often is. Small improvements also matter far more than most people realize. Improving customer retention by just a few percentage points. Reducing unnecessary expenses. Responding to inquiries a little faster. Making the buying process a little easier. Each improvement seems insignificant on its own. Together, they create businesses that steadily outperform competitors over time. This is known as the power of compounding. Just as money compounds through investing, business growth compounds through consistent improvement. The best businesses don't become exceptional overnight. They become exceptional because they never stop refining what they do. Above all, remember this: customers don't buy products. They buy outcomes. They don't purchase a drill because they want a drill. They buy it because they want a hole in the wall. They don't hire a consultant because they enjoy meetings. They hire one because they want better results. The more clearly your business solves a meaningful problem, the easier it becomes to grow. At the end of the day, success isn't about having the most creative logo, the biggest office, or the flashiest social media page. It's about creating enough value that customers choose you, trust you, and come back again. The small business owners who succeed aren't necessarily the smartest or the luckiest. They're the ones who stay curious, keep learning, listen carefully, build strong systems, and put their customers at the center of every decision. Because businesses don't grow simply by selling more. They grow by serving better. When you focus on solving real problems, improving every day, and creating an experience people genuinely appreciate, growth becomes more than just a goal. It becomes the natural result of the value you consistently deliver.